What's up, guys? Just want to talk about the Notre Dame burning today because I think it's very important and significant, but not on the level that most people are taking it. Because I don't think it's a big deal as far as just a building burning, even a historical building. Everybody's like, oh, posting how sad and it's a sad day. And of course, originally I'm thinking, well, what is the significance of just this building burning? I hadn't heard a report of any deaths, and I hope there's not still, because I don't take that lightly. And I guess kind of a disclaimer is, this isn't me hating on anyone, feeling like, oh, this is a bad deal, because it's a massive fire. It's not good, obviously, but I believe there's significance to it, and it's hard to. For one, I don't understand. It's not a significant uh, building as far as, let's say, religion. It is to the Catholic Church, to Catholics. A lot of people take it as a big church, which it's really not. I'll get into that and why. But for one, for me, I'm just not emotional about any building, historical or not, burning, or you know we're losing all this artwork or whatever, because most of it is religious, Catholic religious artifacts. Um, I'm not worried about. I'm not religious. Like the Catholic faith is not is not what saves you. No religion saves you. And I'm not hating on anybody here specifically, but I do want to point out the fact that there is a big, I think it's spiritually significant because of the burning, right? Um, like on my own personal Facebook, I made a quick video of, kind of everybody's sad about this burning, but what about the blood money involved in building it, right? Um, of course, no one's sad when you're on that side of it, but all the gold and religious taxes taken out just to build it is ridiculous in the first place. The fact that it's not on the in or outside, is it holy? But I want to go into more detail. Let's start with the name Notre Dame. It means, it's French for Our Lady, and the the Catholic thought of this is it stands for Our Lady, talking about Mary. And so I was looking into this, and it was funny because I told my wife, I was like, it's kind of a big deal. There's always significance when a world like a worldwide known or even a nationally known item, building, object gets destroyed. There's plenty of historical evidence as far as the Old Testament of certain things getting destroyed or taken down that everybody knows about. There's always something behind it. It's not just, I'm not saying it can't be oops, but I mean that was a massive fire. There was no stopping that thing. So it wasn't like just some little, oh, there's a fire inside, let's put it out. It was that thing's burning up. Unless it's stone, it's burning up. So I was kind of reading it, and actually, I didn't even know Notre Dame meant Our Lady until tonight, until I was looking it up, and I was like, that's really significant because the Catholic Church is all about Mary, and which is not biblical at all. In fact, I would say it's kind of the opposite, because there is no mention of Mary, mother of Jesus, as being, you know, on a level of needing to be worshipped or prayed to. If you kind of believe that, there's there's no biblical backing for it at all. In fact, it's setting up idolatry, because you do start to worship something other than God. There's God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? There's no Queen of Heaven, Mother of God, Godhead in the Bible that we're supposed to worship or called to worship, or even give significance to. And so it was funny. I was like, let me put this stuff together. So I'm just thinking. I'm like, okay, there's something more. And there's always something more when it's like pressing on me, I guess you could say. It's significant for a reason, I believe. And now this is just my thoughts here. This isn't a video totally like, oh, this is this. It has to be this. It's not what I'm saying. But I was even praying about it, like, am I wrong for not being sad for this building burning? And, I didn't get an answer of, yes, you should be sad, or, oh, this is a terrible event. It is, no, that you're going to have more people mourn the loss of this building over people crying over the death or resurrection of Jesus throughout the world. And that's kind of significant. Or the fact that there's all these Christians in Egypt, or not Egypt, what country was that? I'll have to look it up. I'll look it up here in a minute. That were just massacred in Africa, and nobody batted an eye. It's like, oh, more deaths. Oh, terrorists, yep, what do you expect? And so that seems kind of crazy to me, that we put a building over lives of people. So that, I'm still going and thinking on this, and then I was looking it up, and I was like, oh, okay, Our Lady is the name of this cathedral. This cathedral is not anything holy. There's nothing special about this cathedral. It was built by, I don't want to say evil men, but no cathedral was made out of humility to God. It's kind of the opposite. As there are popes and bishops that wanted to make a name for themselves and make a name for their religion, so they built this stuff. So I got to looking up more, and I'm already thinking, okay, once I saw the fact that it's Our Lady, it totally made sense, because there's a weird thing that goes on, and it goes on all the time, about this Queen of Heaven, or this femininity of God, like there's a female God, and that's not true. And I just read, maybe last week, Jeremiah, and I'll pull that up. Oh, wrong thing. Trying to shrink my screen here. Hey, go down. Alright. Oh. Okay. I'll get to that page in a second. So, it was Jeremiah 7:18. And the children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough, to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. So God, this part in Jeremiah, God is talking to the Israelites and saying, hey, y'all are doing this. this is bad, this is wrong, and he's kind of chastising what they're doing. And one of these things, it mentions the Queen of Heaven. And it's funny because the Queen of Heaven is also related to Ashtaroth. I don't know if you've watched my other video or if you even know, to the goddess Easter or Oestra, or there's many variations of the same goddess. And it's a goddess that is all about sex and fertility, and they worshipped and praised and gave sacrifice to. It's a goddess of that whole Middle Eastern region, which is definitely not good. And so my other thoughts were, man, it's almost Easter. Easter is right around the corner, and you have this pretty much a temple to a goddess, Our Lady, which isn't holy or biblical at all. You have this building named after Our Lady, giving significance to the mother of Jesus, the earthly mother of Jesus, which again, she's not a god, not a part of the Godhead, but she's still considered in the Catholic religion the Queen of Heaven. And obviously that's, if you're Christian, not Catholic Christian, however you want to, whatever denomination you want to specify. If you're a Bible-believing Christian, then automatically you should know that, yes, we don't pray to another being. We don't pray to the mother of Jesus, to Mary. She's not any significance. And, personally, if you're praying to anything other than God, you're getting in contact with something else. But I pulled up this page. I was just searching through stuff. And it's a Catholic page. And they are talking about, is there a queen in the kingdom of heaven? And at first, they're talking about old tradition, and then they also go to the Protestant side of, we shouldn't believe in the Queen of Heaven, that it's mentioned in the Bible that the Queen of Heaven was not good. And they bring up Jeremiah 7:18. I was like, wow. So I just kept reading on, and through this article, what it was kind of saying that biblical Christianity was connecting the Queen of Heaven to all these other goddesses that these other religions were saying are the Queen of Heaven, but they're saying no, Mary's the Queen of Heaven. And in this specifically, it says that right here, I can certainly sympathize with their thinking here. I once thought the same, but the truth is, this text has absolutely nothing to do with the Blessed Mother as Queen of Heaven. So he goes into why Mary is not these goddesses. Well, that's not found. I want to expand on that. But what he is saying is that Mary is the Queen of Heaven, because Jesus is the King, so that makes Mary the Queen, which isn't true. It's not biblical, it's not correct. So to piece my thoughts together on this is that it's right around the time of Easter, the resurrection of Jesus, which is commonly known as Easter, which comes from a goddess, the Queen of Heaven, that the temple, which they called a cathedral, dedicated and named after the Queen of Heaven, Mary, Our Lady, or the Mother, there's so many names, that it burned down. I was like, oh man, that's real significant. And I had actually seen, when I first saw this, and going back to earlier when I was like, man, there's some kind of significance to this. I found, and I can't think of, I've watched his page like twice. I'm gonna have to go find it, but there's a YouTuber that he's like, hey man, there's something significant here. Um, I can't be sure what, but there's something going on. And now I'm putting all this together, and I'm like, yeah, there's definitely something going on. And what it seems like to me, that I haven't had any, oh, revelation, but maybe it is. The fact that at the time of Easter, at Christ's resurrection, that something of the Queen of Heaven is being destroyed. That, hey, this is not a time for you. This is not a time for your religion or your followers. That you have no dominance here. And it's kind of not funny, but kind of funny in those terms. If you think of it that way, it's more ironic than funny. But that is being taken down. That temple of the Queen of Heaven is being removed, and that we're all seeing it. I mean, this is a worldwide thing. It's blown up. It's gone crazy. Everybody's mourning the loss of this building, this temple. And of course, we know if we read the Bible that what's supposed to be the temple of God is us. We're the temple. There's not one building in the world where God resides. It's that we're the temple and God resides in us. Or that's how it's supposed to be. So I find it kind of significant at this point, thinking about how he's kind of like cutting down the significance of this Queen of Heaven, this Easter Mary Queen of Heaven, which isn't the Mary that out of the Bible. This is something that gets the attributes of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and then she's placed on high in this position of the Queen of Heaven, which is not correct. And so yeah, that's really my thoughts on it. I want to make this video because it was kind of came really clear to me. I was like, oh, wow, yeah. And just my thoughts kept, reproducing, and kept going from there. So if you have any thoughts or comments on that, you can post. I know that my post on Facebook was even like, oh, for the Catholic people I know, I'm kind of freaking out because it's a Catholic thing. Not that it's a God thing, but it's a Catholic thing. And I'm not going to apologize for offending any religion. I'm not here to hate on any religion or any people, but I'm not here to bow down or say that, hey, your religion is equal to the living God, because that's not what my Bible tells me. That's not what I believe. And even at a personal experience, that's not something I'd ever be comfortable with or accept, that a religion overrules the living God. And that's kind of where I'm at. So, hey, if you see this and you're offended, sorry you're offended. You shouldn't be offended though, because, I mean, if you are Catholic, if you say you believe in the Bible and you believe in Jesus, then you should know your Bible. And you should try to get closer to Jesus or God, and not Mary, the mother of Jesus. Again, that's adultery. It's setting up a God before God. And it's funny, and some other reading I did, it was saying how like, oh, you know, this Ashtaroth and Ashtar and there's a billion different versions of the same goddess. And it's all saying, these are myths, but but the Queen of Heaven, Mary, is the real deal. It's like, no, it's the same thing. You're looking at the same thing. The Queen of Heaven it's not, she has no real existence, if it's a she. Probably was a real being, creature at one time, whether a fallen angel or the half-breed Nephilim. It's really weird and crazy to me to think that this could take the world and get their whole world's attention. A fire of a building that in turn ends up being pretty much a temple to a goddess that we shouldn't be celebrating or worshiping in the first place. So again, what is the big deal, honestly? If there were lives lost, that is a big deal, and that sucks. And I hope not. Again, I haven't read anything. I haven't checked lately, though. But, lives are lost. That's never a good or funny thing. But the fact that a temple to a goddess, it's kind of ironic, don't you think? Especially when the Queen of Heaven, the name Easter derives from that, and we're about to hit that holiday, and God's kind of like, nope, my holiday, not yours. It is kind of revelating in a way. But so that's my 80 cents on it. Kind of was a thrown together video. I wasn't trying to make a big production out of it. Like I can make a big production. I'm no super podcast here, but just pointing out things I see and know, and it's weird once you have eyes and ears to see and understand the truth and look for the truth. It's just how this stuff comes out. It's weird. But anyway, again, going back, if you guys got anything to say, post below. Any comments, good or bad, whatever, I don't care. And we can talk about it, or I'll make another video. If you think it's important, I'll talk about that as well. Oi, just a wee bit of little video tonight. Anyway, it's getting late. I'm just running off fumes at this point. Got to get up in a few hours, but it's been bugging me. If you have any input, let me know. And yeah. Alright. Well, if you haven't, like and subscribe to my channel. You can share it too. That'd be awesome. And shalom. Take it easy. Peace out.